Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Akash. So previously we created a static website in S3. Today I wanted to show you how you can launch a website in an EC2 instance. So before we head on to EC2 instance, we'll be using the S3 objects that we have right here. I've already created an S3 bucket and I have uploaded my files. So before we head on to EC2 instance, we should always know that Amazon has a lot of services, and for the services to get information through other services, we need to create an IAM role. So what the IAM role does is I've created a diagram where it shows like we got an S3 bucket right here, and we got an EC2 instance. So within the IAM role, we have to create a role give it a role Amazon S3 read-only access. So what does that do? So that gives the EC2 instance the ability to gather information from S3 and take in the information. So now we're gonna go through the IAM role. We're gonna go to roles, and then we're gonna create a role. So AWS service, we're gonna be using EC2 as our service. Let's hit next, and then we're gonna search. So these are all the roles that the Amazon has already created for us. So there are a lot of roles. There's like 52 pages and more. So we're just gonna go S3 read only. So this is the role that we'll be using. So if we break down this role, it just gives you the get and description, so you can get the objects from the S3. So we're gonna hit next. So we're gonna give it a name. Let's do website S3 read only. And then I'll read the rest as it is. And then I'm gonna create a role. So this role will help our service EC2 and talk with S3. So our EC2 will be able to talk with S3 and vice versa. So let's go to EC2 now. So let's launch an EC2 instance. We're gonna use Amazon Linux. Let's give this instance a name. Let's do creating website in an instance. Okay. So we'll be using Linux 2 AMI, or you can also use Linux 2023. I'm using the free version. Both are free. So we'll be using T2 Micro. It's a free tier. And then I'm gonna create a key pair. So this is for us to do SSH if we need to. So let's do instance key pair. Then when you hit the create key pair, it's gonna automatically download. And then I'm gonna use the default VPC that Amazon gives it to us. So if we check our VPC, we can see in our VPC that it gives us a default VPC which has all the subnets in all the availability zones, and it also provides us with the internet gateway. So we're going to be using this in future videos. I'll show you how to create the VPC, the subnet, the private subnets, public subnets, and so forth. So let's go back to our instance. So the most crucial part is when it comes to auto assign a public IP. So because your website will be in public, so you want to enable public IP address, the SSH, and HTTPS and HTTP. So as we don't have any HTTP security, hence our HTTPS won't be working, but we can use the HTTP for this. And then this, we go to advanced details. So for it to communicate with the S3, we'll be selecting our policy we created for read-only S3. and we'll leave everything as it is. And let's launch. So this will take a moment or so for the instance to get ready. So it's running. While it's running, we can check that our IMA role is going good. We got the public IP address that we can use to go to our website. And the VPC, public VPC that is being used, the public subnet. So while this is happening, I'm gonna go to my downloads folder and I'm gonna put it in my regular folder. This is the key pair that we created, and then we can SSH into it. We'll be doing it in a second as soon as this gets launched. So as you can see here, the status check, we see that it's like both the status checks is completed. So now we can go through connect, and we can go to instant direct connect. It will pop up the console right here. But I wanted to show you on the doing SSH. So you right click, go to git bash, SSH client, copy this. So for the SSH to work, make sure that the SSH is 400, that is only read-only access. So we're gonna copy the SSH. Let's make this bigger. So as you can see, we're connected to our SSH, to our EC2 instance. So first, we're gonna go to our privilege mode, the root mode, and then we're gonna check everything is up to date. So we do yum update -y. Okay, no package marked for updates. Then we're gonna install our Apache. So Apache is our web server. As you can see, we can check if it's installed properly, going systemctl status httpd. So as you can see, it's installed, but it's inactive. So we're gonna activate it. Let's start Apache, and then we're gonna enable it. So now if you see the status, it says active and running. So that's what we want. So to install, to copy the S3 file to instance, we would first need to install the CLI because it's a AWS command line. So the command for copying S3 to our EC2 instance is AWS S3 copy S3 // Let's go to our S3 bucket, and we'll be using this name. So first and foremost, before we do this, we have to install Apache. So let's go cd for HTML, which was not here before. So we'll be copying the S3 files to our HTML folder. So as shown before, we'll do AWS S3 copy S3 // Akash website S3 slash and enter. Wait. Oh. Slash /for slash www slash HTML, where we'll be copying it, and then recursive. So as you can see, the download was complete. We got both the files that was in the S3 bucket, as you can see here. So we're gonna change the ownership and Apache. Give the ownership to Apache. So the first Apache is for user and the second is for group. So before I do that, let me show you what I mean. So if you do LL, gives out a list. Right now it's on the root. So we're gonna give ownership to Apache. And give it a permission. So we're putting in R, so that's recursive, and it does for everything inside that folder and not just one file. Let's do LL. So as you can see, the owner, the user, and the group, the ownership is gone to Apache, and that's it. So if you go to EC2 instance, go to our instance, running. So if we copy our public IP address, we paste it. So our website is ready, our public IP is launching the website. So that's all awesome. So the other thing is that we need to notice is everything we did was we did it manually. So we can skip all these steps and use the user manual. So I'll just copy this. I'm gonna create a new launch instance. So let's do this, and then let's give it a name. We'll be using user data. So we're gonna use the same. We're gonna do the same. The next T2 micro. We're gonna use the same instance keep here. Auto IP enabled. Everything's gonna be the same, but the only difference is gonna be we're gonna choose our IMI, so it's communicating with S3. The only difference is gonna be is whatever we ran our instructions here with the commands that we ran. So firstly, as we can see, we did yum update. So to see that the system is updated properly, we installed Apache, and then after installing the Apache, we started the Apache, we enabled it, we installed AWS CLI, so our S3 CP command would work because this is AWS specific commands. And then we go to that folder, we copy the S3 file and paste it in our HTML. Doing a recursive, we change our ownership. So if we put all these information that we did it manually and hit launch, the thing that happens is now the instance, we don't have to do anything manually. So what the user data will start putting in those commands as soon as the instance is ready. So we don't have to do anything manually. So we can see the instance setting and edit user data. So you can see all the user data that we put in right here. So as the instance is getting ready, all the manual commands that we put in, it automatically gets applied. And also we don't have to go through the root. So that's a good part. So give us As you can see, it's ready. So the first one was this that we created manually, and this is the user data that we used. So let's copy this. Let's paste it over here. Enter. And voila, the website is ready. And we didn't have to do anything. We just used all the commands that we put here. We collected it in a data, and then while we're creating the instance, we just put it in the user data, and everything ran. If we go inside of it, let's try going inside. So because we use the same key pair, we can go here, we can go to our git bash. Let's go to user data connect. So it's the user data. We're gonna SSH into it. Fingerprint, yes. So as you can see, let's check the status. So let's do systemctl status httpd. So as you can see, it's running. If we go to cd for www.html, where the website's supposed to be pasted, all the S3 buckets information should be pasted. It's right here, and the permissions are also all set. So this makes a whole lot of things easier and less manual process. So other thing that we can do is going a little bit advanced. So you can go to launch template. You can create a launch template. So this is more of the line into creating an auto scaling group and load balancer. So you can create your website, give it a template name. So we'll be doing the same thing. T2 micro, our key pair, subnet, you don't have to. And then here you can also see that there is IMA policy that you can put in, and there is a user data that we can put in. So if we launch this template, so this created the instance. It's not an EC2 instance, but it's a template. So this is ready to go template. So later on down the line in next videos, I'll show you how to create an auto scaling group using the template that we just created. And we'll be able to launch 5, 6, how many we want in one go. And it'll help like in a scaling, horizontal scaling. So why do you want to launch EC2 instance and use the S3? So storing website files in S3 allows for like easy updates and deployment files. I don't have to update files in each EC2 instance. They can fetch the files from same S3 bucket. And then even in disaster recovery, if the instance fails, something happens to the instance, you always have your files in the S3 safe and sound. So that's it. I'll see you guys next time. I'll show you how you can use the instance